Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're looking into, well, a pretty dramatic story that's been making the rounds.
Hmm.
It's about this alleged on-stage clash between Keanu Reeves and Jimmy Kimmel.
Right.
But the thing is, this account we're looking at suggests it's way more than just, a typical celebrity spat. It hints at these deeper issues, maybe
Hmm.
power plays in Hollywood.
Exactly. It's not just gossip. The narrative frames it as potentially quite revealing about how things might actually work behind the curtain.
So our mission here is to untack this specific story, the claims in this account, and try to figure out the dynamics it's suggesting.
Yeah, it's important to remember we're basing this whole discussion on this one detailed narrative that's emerged. We're looking at what it says happened.
Okay, let's get right into it.
Yeah.
The alleged confrontation itself. The source paints this picture.
Hmm.
Stage, bright lights.
Golden light, I think it said.
Yeah.
Very dramatic.
Yeah, golden light. And Kimmel's there, supposedly with that signature smirk.
Right?
And Keanu Reeves is sitting there, seems calm. But then there's a catalyst.
A joke?
A joke Kimmel made that apparently just crossed a line. About something, or someone, really important to Reeves. Something private, sacred.
That's the language the source uses, yeah.
Yeah.
And that immediately sets a different tone, doesn't it? You expect laughs, but this hints at something serious being breached.
Totally. And Reeves's reaction, according to this account, wasn't like yelling or anything. It was described as calm, but steel-laced.
Yeah, intense but controlled.
He apparently questions Kimmel's whole style of humor, making fun of people. And then he supposedly says something like, I think it's time we talked about what's really going on here.
Wow. Okay. That definitely changes the mood in the room, you'd imagine.
Oh, for sure. The source says silence. Kimmel's smirk fades. The audience gets uneasy.
Yeah, you can picture people shifting in their seats. Like, what is happening?
And Reeves apparently keeps going.
Yeah.
Asking about respect, exploitation, he supposedly says, respect, is that what this is? Because from where I'm sitting, it feels more like exploitation.
Oof, that's direct.
He goes on, maybe you've built your career on tearing others down while pretending to lift them up, but I'm done playing along.
That's a huge accusation, especially the exploitation part. It reframes the whole host-guest dynamic right there on stage.
Yeah. And then he apparently says he's going to reveal his true self, explain why the jokes aren't harmless, build suspense, right?
Definitely. It makes it sound like this isn't just about one joke anymore. It's about something bigger, like he's about to drop some truth bombs.
So this revelation, what is it? The account says Reeves starts talking about his upbringing.
Oh,
Like growing up poor, his mom working multiple jobs, stuff like that, and how he vowed to use his platform for good.
so he's setting up his own values, contrasting them maybe with what he sees in Kimmel's humor. It gives his reaction a kind of moral grounding in this narrative.
Right. It's not just you insulted me, it's this goes against something fundamental.
Makes it feel less like just ego, more principled perhaps.
And the audience reaction, described as divided, some cheering, some stunned. Kimmel, apparently just shocked.
I bet. Probably didn't see that coming.
Then Reeves supposedly gets more specific. He brings up a joke Kimmel made last year about someone very close to him.
Okay, so there's a specific incident driving this, according to the story.
Yeah. And he says he regrets staying silent back then, says silence empowers that kind of behavior. Kimmel's discomfort is apparently really obvious at this point.
That makes sense. It suggests this wasn't totally out of the blue for Reeves, but maybe a build-up, a last straw kind of situation.
And then the exit line. As he's leaving, he reportedly says, if you want to keep making jokes, go ahead. Just remember, they might come back to bite you, and walks off.
Wow. Dramatic exit.
The source describes chaos reporters swarming backstage, but Reeves just gives an enigmatic smile and disappears.
That smile leaves you wondering, doesn't it?
Hmm.
What's he planning? Is this over? Probably not.
Exactly. So then the narrative shifts to the backstory, the unraveling, as the source puts it. Fans apparently start digging online.
Right, the internet detectives get involved.
And they supposedly find this clip from a year ago. And the joke.
The joke about his sister, Kim Reeves.
Yes. Described as cruel, mocking her chronic illness, implying she was a burden.
Oh, that's rough. I mean, if that's true, that absolutely changes the context. That's not just edgy humor. That's hitting way below the belt.
Totally. Suddenly, Reeves's reaction, as described, seems way more understandable, right? It's personal, deeply personal.
Defending family, especially someone dealing with illness, that resonates differently.
But wait, there's more. The story then introduces leaked documents, anonymous source, of course.
Uh-oh. Here we go.
These docs supposedly reveal an even bigger, older connection They allege Kimmel tried to sabotage Reeves's casting in The Matrix back in the late 90s.
What? Sabotage the Matrix? How?
By spreading rumors, apparently,
Yeah.
saying Reeves was difficult, unreliable, trying to get him replaced by a friend of Kimmel's.
Wow. Okay, if that's true, this goes way beyond jokes. That's career interference. That's yeah, it's a long game.
The account claims this actually hurt Reeves back then. Directors were hesitant, fewer roles. He had to fight to rebuild things before The Matrix finally happened.
So the confrontation wasn't just about the joke, or even just his sister. It was potentially decades of resentment coming to a head. A chance to settle an old score.
That's what the narrative suggests. It adds this whole layer of long simmering history.
Okay, this is getting really complex.
And it gets deeper.
Yeah.
Because the source then points to a puppet master behind Kimmel.
Seriously, who?
A legendary producer named Victor Langston. The leaks supposedly suggest Langston orchestrated the whole smear campaign against Reeves back then.
Victor Langston.
Yes.
Like the Victor Langston, the guy behind massive hits.
According to this account, yes, the motive. Langston supposedly saw Reeves as a threat, someone he couldn't control, so he used Kimmel to try and sideline him.
Man, if true, that paints a picture of Hollywood power dynamics that's, well, pretty dark, using people like puppets to maintain control.
It definitely elevates the story beyond a Kimmel-Reeves feud. It becomes about the whole system, potentially.
And how did the industry react to these revelations, according to the source?
Shock, basically. Fans rallying around Reeves, Kimmel's reputation taking a nosedive. Which, sounds plausible if these kinds of allegations came out.
Yeah, the public can turn quickly when stuff like this surfaces, especially against someone perceived as powerful or bullying.
So that brings us to the present, sort of. The account raises lingering questions like, why now? Why did Reeves choose this moment? Was it purely about justice?
Good questions. The timing is interesting.
And after the alleged incident, Reeves apparently disappears. No interviews, no social media, just gone.
Laying low. Or planning something.
Well, then, 3 days later, this message appears on his website. The game isn't over yet.
Okay, cryptic. Very cryptic. That definitely suggests more is coming.
Exactly. So the source leaves us hanging with these big questions. Is Reeves going after Langston now? Is this just chapter 1?
It pulls it all back to those core themes the narrative introduced. Power, respect, integrity in the industry.
Yeah. So just to wrap up what this account lays out. You've got the alleged confrontation, sparked by a joke, but rooted in, supposedly, a history of disrespect, specifically a cruel joke about his sister. Then these claims of past sabotage attempts by Kimmel, potentially orchestrated by this powerful producer, Langston.
Right, the hidden hand.
And finally, Reeves' mysterious message hinting that this whole thing is far from finished. It's quite a narrative.
It really is. If this account is accurate, it's a fascinating, maybe disturbing look at the potential underside of fame and power in Hollywood.
And it definitely leaves you, the listener, with that final thought from the source material. What do you think happens next? Is Reeves really planning a takedown? Who's pulling the strings here? It makes you think about just how deep these things might run.